Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, and a lot of cartoon news dropped over San Diego Comic Con. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I thought it would be kind of fun to record my reaction to a lot of the news that went on, my personal opinion on this stuff. Now, I'm not going to be showing any trailers or anything in this video, but if you are interested in anything that I'm talking about and want to know more, there's going to be links in the description of everything I talk about. So there was a lot of stuff that happened at Comic-Con, so I decided to split it up into two videos. This video is just going to be reacting to the Cartoon Network news, and the other video is going to be reacting to the Nickelodeon, Netflix, Disney, and any other news. I also won't be reacting to every little bit of news, but just the stuff that I feel like I have something to say about. So if I missed anything, please do let me know down in the comments, because maybe there is some stuff that I did just genuinely miss, but it's also possible that it's just something that I don't really have anything to say about. So we're going to start off with the two new shows that Cartoon Network showed off. These were pilots that were shown last year, and ironically, interestingly, these are the two pilots that I decided to look at. Like, Cartoon Network kind of put up a whole slew of like pilots of just kind of throwing a lot of stuff at the wall. They seem to have some sort of initiative to produce or to take a look at a lot of different pilots, and the two that I looked at were the two that got picked up. So the first one is Victor and Valentino. From the short little clip, you can kind of see that this is definitely going to be a comedy series, but it definitely is also going to have I'm recording here, excuse me. It's definitely going to have a lot of kind of like mythical elements. It's definitely taking a lot from Mexican culture, which, as Coco showed, that's definitely like a culture that people are interested in, and there's definitely something there that's kind of rich with untapped potential for stories. From the clip, you know, it's nothing really special. It's nothing that I can look at and be like, wow, this is an amazing show. I'm so excited to see it. But it definitely shows potential. There's definitely like a lot of wackiness and silliness with the characters' tongues getting tied together, and jump rope is played with them. And then there's also definitely some sort of mythos and some sort of action and adventure component where there's these little papier-mâché demons that are coming to life. It's kind of hard to tell if this is like the beginning of some sort of like story on the series. Like, is the entire series going to be about them encountering these mysterious papier-mâché to real-life demons? Or is this just like one random clip from some random episode, and the whole show is going to be about them interacting with a number of different supernatural things? Kind of hard to tell, but from the pilot and from this, I'm definitely excited. It definitely looks like there's some potential here. The next one, of course, it's Infinity Train. Everyone talked to death about Infinity Train, wanting to get Infinity Train greenlit. Cartoon Network, you gotta greenlight this show, and it worked. I mean, for once, it did seem like Cartoon Network was listening to us, or it could completely be a coincidence. Maybe Cartoon Network had greenlit it before anyone made any video on it. But yeah, and this trailer gets me so excited for the show, because the original clip that came out of it, the original kind of like pilot, definitely showed like a mixture of comedy and action and mystery. And this clip alone, this new clip, is all intrigue. It's all mystery. It's all setup. And as much as like I'm totally cool and totally excited for comedy being in the show, when Cartoon Network markets a show with like this sort of mysterious build-up and this sort of like the number on her hand and the atmosphere of she's gone missing, like, you know that there's going to be a cool story in here. Cartoon Network doesn't always advertise things like this, even when they probably should be advertised like this. So to kind of see a clip like this, where it definitely a huge component of the show is going to be the mystery, is really great. It actually reminds me of the Nonary games, the 999, and the other games in that series, in the number on her hand, the mystery, the fact that they're from the pilot, we saw that they're, at least from the pilot, seems to be some sort of like solving mystery rooms like in the train. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. It's something that a lot of people talked about. It looks really good. It looks really hype. So very much excited for that. I thought the trailer was great. Next up, Cartoon Network is doing another crazy crossover event. Now, if you know anything about the history of Cartoon Network, you'll know that every so often they decide to do these really bizarre crossovers. Scooby-Doo meets Johnny Bravo, The Grim Adventures of the K&D, Say Uncle. You know, there's just a lot of these, or a few of these, over like every so often. It seems like every 5 years they'll do one of these, where it's just like, it's just nuts. It's like who throw random characters together and why not? And this one seems like it might be the most crazy yet because from the promo image we have, and we really only have pretty much a promo image, and rumor that it's been gonna air in the fall. We can see that the main character from OKKO, who I believe is called KO, Garnet from Steven Universe, some sort of really chibi, deformed, disturbing Ben 10. I assume is from the latest version of Ben 10, and Raven from Teen Titans Go. These four characters are going to cross over in an OKKO episode. It's going to be called, what is it, Crossover Nexus. I haven't seen a lot about OKKO, but from what I have seen, it definitely seems like the kind of show where they throw like a lot of different like sci-fi elements just at the wall. So if any show were to kind of incorporate all of these different characters, it seems like a good fit. I do love, though, that they did pick like... apparently, like, people are saying that it's picking based upon fan favorite characters, which I guess makes sense. I mean, Garnet is definitely, it's one of my favorite gems on Steven Universe. Raven, of the people, even a lot of the people that don't like Teen Titans Go seem to like Raven's character. Ben 10, I don't know, man. The show's been on for a very, very long time, or a version of the show, and KO seems to be pretty popular. So it seems to be an interesting matchup, and I'm very excited to see how... I'm just, especially as a Steven Universe fan, excited to see how Garnet is going to interact with all these characters. We don't know if there's going to be more characters in it, but it seems like this is the promo image they put forth, so these are probably going to be the main characters and the main focus. What's the story going to be? Who's the villain? Who knows? Who knows? But that's super exciting. So very, very excited to see that. And then that leads us into Steven Universe. They did a 40-minute panel that you can see in its entirety. I don't really have much to say about that. It's just kind of a lot of information. It's just really nice to see. Just everyone that makes this show seems so passionate about it, and they seem so happy, and they seem so happy to interact with fans, which is always just, it's just nice, and it's refreshing, to be quite honest with you. So next up, there's going to be a Steven Universe movie. All we got of it was a very brief clip where it shows the heart gem rotating, or some sort of crystal heart. I don't necessarily want to say that it's a gem. I assume it's the gem of the main villain, but it's a crystal heart rotating, and you just kind of see the characters' faces along with the silhouette of a new character who definitely looks like the villain. I'm excited for this. This is very exciting. This was, for me, very unexpected. I mean, look, Cartoon Network definitely has its problems with, like, airing Steven Universe and announcing Steven Universe and stuff, but you can't say that the network is, like, completely tossing away the show, because it has been doing an effort to promote it. Like, the actual event at Comic-Con had, like, just a giant inflatable Steven, Garnet, and Pearl, and Amethyst. Like, they seem to have a huge panel you could pose with weapons from the show. Like, Cartoon Network isn't promoting it in a traditional way, but they are definitely putting some effort into this show, and that's great. Like, I'm glad to see that they're realizing that they do have a gem on their hands. I'm very sorry for that. But anyway, this movie, if I could give my guess, I would say that this movie is probably going to either be very, very, like, in continuity, but very, very light on continuity in relation to anything else that's happening, or it's going to be completely non-continuity, or maybe it'll take place, like, in season 2 of the show. The reason I say this is because Steven Universe in some ways is based off of anime, and a lot of anime do the movies that, like, are non-canon, just so that they can kind of have a villain that's, like, more powerful than anything they've ever faced, and yet not have it, like, interfere with the actual show. But more importantly than that, I think that Steven Universe is the kind of show that it can be hard to get people into. Like, personally, I think that Reunited is, like, such a good episode and such an interesting episode that you could show someone that, and then hopefully they'd be interested in watching the rest of the show after it. But I can totally understand why someone wouldn't want to watch, like, an episode very late into the 5th season of the show. So I think my guess would be that Cartoon Network decided to make this movie, or worked with, obviously, someone in the crew, but, like, the decision was made because they want this movie to be a gateway into the series. Because if you go back and you try to show someone Gem Glow and Cheeseburger Backpack and Laser Light Cannon, like, don't get me wrong, I like these episodes, but it's not necessarily representative of what the show is now and what, like, the show is as a whole. So I think having the movie be this nice jumping on point that can be promoted, like, heavily by Cartoon Network, that can be something that, if it's light on continuity or non-continuity, we can just kind of show to anyone and use that as a gateway to get them into the show, I think that would be really cool. That would be optimal. But who knows? Who knows? It could totally tie into what's going on in the show right now. I guess I don't think so. Also because the villain, like it, I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know how you'd go from like what's going on right now in the show, and I won't spoil it, with this villain, but it's entirely possible. But yeah, it's just really cool. Now, to clarify, it's not a movie that's going to be in theaters. It's just going to be on Cartoon Network. But the plus side of that is that it does say that it's going to be on Cartoon Network soon. So yeah, this could be something that happens really soon, and that's really exciting. It's amazing that there was a major thing that didn't get leaked. As far as I know, if this didn't get leaked, but that's really cool. And then on the subject of that, they also aired a new episode at the panel at Comic-Con. And at first I was a little salty because I'm like, all right, look, if you want to show episodes early, like if you want to give them a preview to kind of hype up the show to people that were there in person, fine, okay, that's fine. But when we don't even have an announced date on the next episode and you're showing this off and like cruddy phone camera version of the episodes are going to go up, like that are going to be leaked and people are going to see it that way, and then the fandom's going to be split on like who has seen it and who hasn't, how are we going to talk about the show, etc., etc. It's just kind of like an annoying thing to do, but Cartoon Network actually did right in that they released the episode about a day and a half later on their app and on the website. So if you haven't seen it yet, the episode from Legs from Here to Homeworld is up right now on Cartoon Network's website. Definitely go check it out. I don't know when it's airing on TV. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But it is available to see legally and in HD or as good quality as Cartoon Network's going to stream. So that's really exciting. And if you want to hear my opinion on it, as well as some other people's opinions on it, hopefully by the time this video comes out, Leia will have uploaded it. We did a big discussion with 4 people, myself included, Leia included, and it's going to be on Leia's channel. I will definitely link that. Go check it out. It's a very fun discussion. But if you want to hear my opinion on that new episode. But anyway, yeah, this was very unexpected that Cartoon Network would do this. I think it makes sense to do it like this, to have the premiere at the Comic-Con, and then maybe like a day or two later actually just put the episode up for everyone to see. It would have been nice if this was broadcast ahead of time, because we knew about this from like an Instagram account. Like Cartoon Network didn't really officially announce that the episode was up, or was gonna go up when the panel aired. So it would have been nice to know a little bit more ahead of time, but it was nice that we did actually get to see the episode and we didn't have to watch it on like lousy pirate vision, and we didn't have to wait who knows how long. So that's all cool. Next up, we're gonna look at Adventure Time. So Adventure Time, there were 2 clips that were released. One is a trailer where it features a lot of it's like one of those trailers that kind of shows you back in the show, like, hey, here's all these cool things that happen in Adventure Time, and there's a few little clips of the new stuff, but it's mostly just kind of hyping it up. And then there's an actual clip from the episode that's a little bit more like a more traditional like trailer, even though it is pretty much, I believe, just kind of a clip, although it might be 2 clips mashed together. From the looks of this, I'm excited. I'm very excited. If you haven't seen it, I did a discussion with Nintendo about the Minecraft special that aired a little while ago, and I will be talking about the finale with him when that airs. But I'm very excited. It looks like they're gonna put a ton of the characters in. We see in the videos, we see Lemongrab, LSP, the Duke of Nuts of all people. We see Magic Man, Betty, Maja. We see a lot of different characters, Colonel Candy Corn. So it does look like this is going to be a pretty epic finale. I hope so. Knowing Adventure Time, my guess is that there's going to be something very controversial that happens at the end of it. Either they won't it'll be a non-ending, or they'll go like really metaphysical with it, or just they'll do something weird. It could be really good. I'm not saying that it has to be bad, but most likely they'll pull something like that. But at least for like the bulk of the episode, the whole war concept, they definitely seem to be it definitely seems to be something that is adequately hype for the ending of Adventure Time. Like it seems like this isn't just going to be like, hey, let's show the war and then whatever. These are scenes of the characters planning, and there's definitely like what's going on with Normal Man, what's going on with Betty, what's like there's different elements at play. It's not just going to be literally just the war. So definitely exciting, definitely cool. And then the last bit of news, and this was an oddball, but Adventure Time is going to be continuing in season 11 in comic form. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is a weird thing because some shows have done this. Like I know Buffy the Vampire Slayer did this, where they had a new season that was just in comics. I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with it because it's like supplemental material anyway. And I do think that the comic format probably works for Adventure Time. I think I own a few comics, but I don't know that I've ever actually read them for Adventure Time. But yeah, I mean, from the artwork they showed of like the covers and stuff, it looks like this could be cool. And for the people that are really, really into Adventure Time, it's a nice kind of way to say like, hey guys, look, the series is ending, but here's just a little something special for you. If you want to seek this out, you can. If not, season 10 is it. Although it does kind of lead me to question, like, what could possibly happen in the finale then if they are able to continue it in the comics? Maybe the comics are going to be like a slightly alternate timeline. I don't know, but the comics are going to start in October, so who knows? But yeah, that's cool news. Really, just all good news, all cool news from Cartoon Network. I mean, obviously they're not going to announce something like negative at Comic Con, but no, yeah, thus far, like all of this stuff seems pretty exciting, pretty hype, pretty different, and just unexpected for me at least. Just yeah, like I know Cartoon Network has its problems in its schedule and in some other ways, but it does seem like they do have somewhat of a grasp on at least what like some older fans want. Like they specifically showed off a lot of this stuff is more for, I don't want to say for older fans, but more for fans who like the more action side of the network. It definitely seems like this Comic Con at least was for you and was for me and was for us, and that's great. So yeah, let me know what you thought about all this information. Like I said, there's links in the description to all of this news, all the trailers, all the stuff I talk about. Please check them out for yourself if you haven't. And what are you most excited about? And what do you want me to cover in the next video that's going to be about Nickelodeon, Netflix, and Disney? So yeah, with that, Pie Guy Rules, out.